I don't even want to talk over the end of it. That's so cool. That is Reach. The band is EverFelt. The show is Matt Connarton Unleashed. We are live. We have entered hour number 2, numero dos, on this Saturday morning. Jenny is here, of course, as well at the news table.
Present and accounted for.
And we have joining us via Skype, Adam Steglich is here from the band EverFelt. Hello, Adam.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. Welcome back. Last time we talked to was a couple of years ago, I think, right? 2 or 3 years ago?
2022.
2022. Wow. So I love the new material from the EP, the self-titled EP, and Reach is the first single off of that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really good. I love all of these. I listen to everything that you sent us, and just great stuff. Has the sound changed? I feel like it might have changed a little bit from when we had you on before. Kind of evolved a bit.
Yeah, so we've had a few different changes. So we have a new drummer. He joined the band about 9 months ago. He's on this EP, and we now have a new bass player too. But he's the bass player that we had before is on the EP. But we have a new bass player now that's joined, and they're going to play our first show with us October 5th in Evansville, Indiana. But yes, definitely. It evolved, and playing it live, and then working on it, and then having Corey being able to do 2 different tracks on it. And actually, we were able to go to Loud and Clear Studios in Kentucky and do it with a real producer, Shelby. And he did a great job. And we were able to do those 5 songs in 2 days. So we were really happy with, him being able to, we were ready, we were really ready to go and record them. But at the same time, the atmosphere was just so nice and comfortable for us it was like being at our practice studio where we went to record. So it was nice.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm curious to hear more about that because you guys are Chicago based, correct?
Oh, no, we're actually Southern Illinois.
Oh, Southern Illinois. Oh, so you're not that far from. Okay, I was thinking more Chicago area. So to go from there to Kentucky, it's not that much of a haul.
No, it's it was to where we recorded at was only a little over an hour from where I live.
Oh, okay, actually. Okay, yeah. So I'm curious to know more about that, your experience at that studio and the producer that you worked with, because you've got so many options now, as you know, in terms of recording. There's a million recording studios. You can record at home. There's so many different ways you can do it. So, but it sounds like you really enjoyed your experience recording at that particular studio.
Most definitely. I mean, honestly, we were able to stay there also. And so, it was a 2-day experience where the whole band, we stayed there, we recorded, we were able to do the scratch tracks all live together. And then we were able to go back in on the, separately and being able to get, honestly, we were only going to do a 4-song EP to begin with, but it went so well and everything was like, happening like magically. I would have to say it that way because honestly, I did 2 vocal tracks for each song, and we literally, I didn't have to go back and redo anything. We were really ready. We practiced. We were ready for the studio time. So, when you pay for the time, you want to make sure that you capitalize on it. So when we got done with the first 4, we still had enough time where Shelby was like, hey, if you guys want to do a 5th song, you got to let me know now. We need to get it done. And so we did. And we chose to do River, which was the 5th song on the album, which ended up being an 8-minute, 23-second song.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Want to do another song, so
you had to seize the opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
most definitely. River was the song that started EverFelt. Really, EverFelt began with my best friend Charles Lingerfeld, who passed away in 2021. We had a band called EverFelt before then, and his last name's Lingerfeld, so I wanted him to be forever felt in the music that we do. And River was his original melody. So that song was really important to us as a band. So yeah, so it was really cool to put him on the first EP, put his song on there. So
that makes sense. How prepared, did you guys, in order to be really prepared for this experience, because, when you're going into a studio and it's like you said, you're paying for the time. So you want to be efficient, but of course you also want to get the best possible performance that you can. So were you guys like rehearsing like 5 nights a week leading up to when you went to the studio? That must have been intense. What was that like?
We played, since the last time I talked to you, we've played 18 shows.
Oh, wow. Okay.
also playing those songs, but also we practiced. We kept our normal practices, but we practiced, every Sunday. We practice every Sunday, so
Yeah.
we practiced every Sunday. Plus, we had a couple shows right before. So really, it was more of just having two really, 6-hour practices. Really honing in on what we wanted to do and being ready to go there. And when I do the vocals, I mean, when I practice vocals, I practice at home too. You can't if you really want to do this and be good at it, you can't just practice at practice. Right. And so you also have to practice at home. And so I even like when I do the vocals, I practice my vocals a cappella without even the music at home. So, that's how well I know the songs, you know what I mean? So when you really, so when we had that opportunity, and we had no idea that going there, that Shelby was going to be such a cool dude and really made us feel very at home. Like it felt like a home situation. I don't know how else to describe that, but it really made us feel like we could just be ourselves. And so that allowed us to just really let go and just let the music do what it needed to do to, take us to that place to channel what you hear on the EP,
Yeah. Well, that makes a huge difference. I mean, I know from my own experience with recording, there's nothing worse than if you go to a studio and you've got a limited amount of time and you're dealing with an engineer or a producer who's maybe a little grumpy or maybe they just, they're just not the friendliest because to them it's just a job. But it sounds like with Shelby, like he really cares about what he's doing and goes out of his way to make you feel comfortable. So that's great.
He really did, man.
What's the name of that studio again?
That's Loud and Clear Studios in Paducah, Kentucky.
Okay. And how did you find that studio? Like what went into, because obviously you had no way of knowing for sure that it was going to be such a great experience. What went into choosing that studio? Because again, you have so many different options these days.
Well, we were trying to find a studio that was, budget friendly, but also that had a good, track record with our kind of music in a sense.
Yeah.
But also we were looking for something that was within a 2-hour drive of us without having that way, we didn't know if we'd find a place we could stay at, but we did, but we didn't know that, so in case we needed to have to travel back home for whatever reason, we didn't know how long it would take. We didn't know a lot of those things. So yeah, so we were definitely wanting to find something within driving distance, but also somebody who, and then when I got a hold of him, his rates were great. And he was, just like, you could just tell his energy was, he cared about what he does.
Yeah.
And cares that it's his name involved with it. He cares about the music itself. And that matters.
Well, it shows too in the final product. Did he do the mastering as well, or did you have to take that somewhere else?
No, we wanted him to do the mixing and mastering since he recorded it. We felt that would be the best fluid way to do it.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Now do you have more music that you're working on? Because I assume you have additional songs that you play live, right?
Oh, definitely. Yes, sir. So we actually have, those 5, we actually have another 13 songs.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But what the plan is I don't know what time next year yet, but next year we're going to be working with Shelby again, and we're going to be doing our first album. And so what's going to happen is we're going to take the 5 songs from the EP, remaster them with the new bass player, a couple other things we want to remaster on those songs, and then an additional 7 songs. So it's going to be a 12-song album
cool.
that we're going to be releasing next year. So we just wanted to get the EP out there with the new drummer and really have something that we can, let the people hear while we're working on shows behind the scenes, and then also, an album too. So, and then November 10th, we're actually working with Redwood Creative to create our first official music video for Reach.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. Very good. Do you already have the concept and everything, or are you still in the process of figuring that out?
We have some of the concept, Reach is really about, we've all been found broken alone in that hole, reaching out. And in that desolate place, you find that that it's in that place where you realize that in order to truly reach out, you must first reach in. And then so it's philosophical, but the idea is like almost like the concept and theme of the music video is almost like the light you see when you're reaching through the dirt of a buried grave. The first light you see is the very light at the end of the music video that brings us all together as a band, or that kind of concept. So we're going with that, but it's also going to be like in the woods. And the dude, Trey Rudd from Redwood Creative, he actually is somebody that we found through Shelby. And he's really good. He's also based in Kentucky, but we've seen some of the work and the videos he's done. So yeah, it's going to be like a 6-hour video shoot that we're going to do on November 10th.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I feel like it's so important too to do music videos, which to some people, to people who don't know, that might sound odd in the year 2024, because I forget who we were talking about this recently on the show, but we were talking with someone about how some people have a misperception that there are no music videos anymore because, MTV doesn't play music videos anymore, or VH1 or anything. But actually, because of YouTube, I would say music videos are more important than they've ever been, because it's something that you can really use to promote your music, to share out on social media and all of that.
Yeah, because attention span is because of the advent of social media and phones, attention span's like next to nothing. And so because of that, you really want to have those captivating images that get people to keep listening. And so that's really the reason for the videos,
Yeah.
And honestly, I see why. I mean, even myself, I'm sure you understand too, like it's easy to there's so much music out there. You really want to try to find a way to create your own path.
Yeah.
And without trying to do that, you can't really try to do that. You just have to let it, like for instance, with our music, with Corey and Jacob and I writing this music, I have to say, like, it kind of, in a sense, happens to us because we allow the music to create and write the songs. And so, and then we allow whatever happens to us as we're working on it to, we record that, we come back, we whittle that down. So it's really just something that kind of writes itself through us, as long as we're allowing ourselves to be the channel for the music instead of trying to control it too much,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, something we talk a lot on the show about as well with our guests is the process of creating and writing. And I think from my own experience, I think the best way is when you're not trying to force it you're not saying, okay, we're going to try to make this sound like this, or we want to sound like that, but rather kind of letting it be organic and letting it kind of, as you described it, which I think is great, letting it kind of come through you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's great. At this point, are you all, it sounds like the whole band writes together. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We write together a lot of times, like with the 5 songs in the EP, for instance. The original melody of River obviously came from Charlie, my buddy that passed, but
yeah,
we turned it into something completely, its own for EverFelt, but the original melody came from him. But Jacob really worked on that, and Jacob brought our rhythm guitarist. He brought Into the Fire, the original riff for Into the Fire, and gave it away. He brought those songs to the table, and then the other ones, Reach and Lie and River, were all that we kind of came up together. Corey brought Reach, the original Reach, but a lot of the newer stuff that you're going to be hearing on the album is stuff that Corey brought to the table. He has this terrible, crazy habit of he'll write a riff that he loves, and he'll be at home, and he tries to call me and play it for me over the phone. But I can't ever understand hardly any of it. But by the time we get to the studio, to work on it, it's just, and it's really kind of crazy too. Sometimes Corey he'll write a riff for a song, and he'll just kind of just tell me the words that come to him when he wrote it, like the concept and the theme, for instance, and I'll just go with that. And so it just, it just depends. But yeah, a lot of our creative process is really bringing whatever riff or whatever we're doing to the table and freestyle creating right then and there. And while we're freestyling, we record what we're doing, and I'll try all these various different vocal patterns, and whatever the music naturally makes me talk about. Yeah. When I'm singing is what the song ends up being about. So I literally want to allow the music, whatever the music makes me do, to allow it to take it the direction of the song. So that way it's all fluid, and right. And really it is kind of a channeling when you really allow yourself to be captured by the music and really allow it to do through you what sometimes when that happens, I have a hard time reproducing it. Really? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you go back and you're like, man, that you listen to the recording, you're like, how did we actually do that? Like, and then you have to try to go back and remember, sometimes when you really get lost in it, Right. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it, that's really the beauty of music. Yeah. And then the challenge of trying to find your way back to that magic moment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Is there a theme? Do these songs have a through line on this EP? Because listening to them, I kind of feel like I couldn't quite detect what it might be. And maybe there isn't one. Maybe I just perceive there possibly being a theme because these songs fit together so well.
But I'm curious, is there an overlying theme to the EP?
Well, yeah. So every song on the EP, from Reach to Into the Fire to River to Gave It Away, they all have to do with the various themes that we all face as a human race. Like, they all have to do with, like, for instance, Gave It Away is about, being willing to sacrifice even when no one else sees it for the thing you love. Into the Fire is being willing to brave the fires of life to burn away the parts of you that aren't you. River's about life. So for me, it's really all about these philosophical themes that we all think about and deal with on the daily basis.
Yeah.
That's really the overlying theme of everything that we do as EverFelt, really.
Yeah.
As a writer, I published my first book in 2004 called Winds of Perception, Scratching the Surface. And even that was a book of poetry where I really wanted to take my style of writing and address the various themes that we face as humans. And so in a philosophical way. And so it's really what it is about getting in tune with oneself and becoming who you're really supposed to be. That's really the idea is, even when you're talking about and Reach, when you talk about the chorus, bleeding out to keep the mind new.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about there literally is I'm saying, everything's about the mind, everything's about, people get caught in their head and they get caught in the mental of it and they forget the soul. Mm-hmm. And so your soul's bleeding out just to concentrate on the mind. And to concentrate on and the things we worry about in life where we get caught in our head, Right. And so that's really the overlying theme is like learning how to find oneself. Like the song Stranger is going to be on the album. It's really that song, also is about, realizing that the stranger that is within you is the real you. And so that's the idea, is to shed all the chains and the preconceived notions that were ingrained in you when you were younger and really become the you that you really are and what you were meant to be here, and so that's the overlying thing.
No, I like it. You know what's cool about all this too is there's a very positive message to it all. I mean, you can really get a lot out of it, but it's interesting because the sound of the band sort of psychedelic but metal. I don't know exactly how you would describe it. You guys are unique, I think, but But you almost, if you didn't know, and if you didn't hear the lyrics, if you just heard the music, you almost might think it was kind of a dark, brooding thing. But there's some really positive messaging in the lyrics and what these songs are about. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, because we want to, and thank you very much for saying that. We want to relate to the dark tunnel with our listeners that they're also in or they've been in before. But we also talk about the door we found. We also want to talk about the light that we found within the darkness, because the candle flame flicker is never so bright as in a dark room. So for that reason alone, that's the reason why we bring that dark brooding sound, because, in order to truly, and encounter true light, you have to be willing to brave the darkness.
Yeah. So yeah, I like it. I'm someone, I struggle with depression. And when I listen to that song, when I listen to Reach, it clicked with me, I think, for that reason. And so I was able to take something from that that I really like. I really like that song a lot.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What's your stage show like? Do you guys have any kind of, because with your sound, it would lend itself to something kind of dramatic or maybe not, maybe just do kind of a, you just play. I don't know. I mean, do you have any kind of a stage show or do you just? I
mean, I will say this: we definitely put on a show.
Yeah.
We perform all over the stage. But we are just now working on the fog, the lights. We're actually working on, with my new bass player, we're working on an entire introduction to our show before we come on stage. So we're getting all of the extras together now for this next coming year. But honestly, I don't know if you've seen any of our live videos. I think you have.
Yeah.
We get down.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of bands stand up there and just play, but that's not what we do.
Right.
Yeah. And I pride myself on really being able to allow myself to truly become the channel on stage for the music, and honestly hit every note, but get down. And that takes practice. Like when I practice, it's like I'm performing. And I'll tell you what, last Sunday, because we just got this new bass player. So it's been about a month now, and he's going to play his first show with us on October 5th. But last Sunday was our first 6-hour practice where we went through the set twice, and I gotta tell you, I was hurting the next day, man, because we hadn't had like a, we had like a kind of a break there for like 3 weeks where we didn't have a show or anything, and we didn't practice because of other family stuff and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So really excited to get the new bass player, because not only is he bringing some awesome thumping to the bass on some of our songs that we didn't have before, but also he's like a whiz when it comes to like light and fog and all this other stuff. So
good.
So yeah, so I'm super excited about that. We're working on a projector screen behind us instead of a banner. We're trying to get
I can imagine that with your music. I can imagine a projector screen.
Yeah, we want to project some images and really take people on that, give them an experience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you have to? Do you do anything to take care of your voice, like lemon or anything? Because you obviously, with what you're doing, it's pretty intense. Your vocals are pretty intense.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't smoke. Number one.
Good.
Number two is I do breath work and chakra work every day.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. And so that's been something I've found that's totally changed the whole game for me when it comes to being ready for the stage and being able to hit everything and do what I do. And also a workout regimen is important twice a week.
Yeah.
But on stage, I drink, let me tell you what it is. On stage, I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
I do partake of the marijuana, but I do not drink alcohol really. So I don't have alcohol on stage. So I drink, what does she do with my hot tea? It's called throat chakra tea.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yep.
Yeah, I drink that on stage. And then I also always have a blue Gatorade. I don't know what it is about the blue Gatorade, but it's really soothing if you need something to drink on stage other than water.
Yeah.
Anyone's listening to this, that's a singer. Here it is. I don't know why she put it in here. I want it in here. It's the organic throat coat is what it's called. It is made of slippery elm. Yeah.
Okay.
Slippery elm tea. So if you do vocals where you go back and forth between the heavies and the lights, this is really nice to have on stage.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of musicians who listen to the show, so that might be very helpful to someone.
Yeah.
That really caught my attention to what you were saying about the breath work, because so I don't know if you know anything about my background, but I'm also a hypnotherapist, and I use a lot of breath work in my sessions with my clients. So I know the value of that and all kinds of applications for it.
It's mind blowing.
Yep.
People that are, if you're an artist and anybody, anyway, it don't matter what walk of life you're in, definitely look into the chakra and breath work is very important. The chanting, all of that.
Yeah.
I do it every day. I have a 40-minute drive to work in the morning. So I do it every day on my way to work, the breath work.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't do much meditation then, but
yeah.
that may be a little dangerous.
Right.
But there's also like this, what's it called? Ancient Meditations on Facebook, where they have like the sounds, the different frequencies that you can use to listen to while you're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's also a cool thing to utilize if anybody's also listening. But yeah, being a hypnotherapist, you said you're a certified hypnotherapist, right?
Yes.
That's phenomenal, man.
Yeah. I've been doing it about 20 years now, and
Wow.
I help people to quit smoking. That's like the number one thing. But it's got a lot of different applications. But yeah, and we do a lot of breath work, and when I'm taking the client into a state of hypnosis, we do a lot of breathing. And sometimes people kind of chuckle when I say, "Now I want you to breathe," and they're like, "Well, I already am, or I'd be dead." And it's like, no, I want you to really breathe.
Yes.
And then we get into all of that, and
when you teach people the 4-7-8 breathing technique, through the nose and the mouth, all of that, when they really do it, I've done it with my wife and a few other friends, and they're like, wow, you could just see the look of surprise on their face when you can just tell when you really control your breathing, it takes you to another place.
Yep.
And it honestly helps you get to center. And so,
yeah, I tell everyone it's kind of like hitting the reset button. If you're having a difficult day, a challenging day, you need to de-stress for a minute, and you need to just kind of reset everything. Just stop and do the breathing, and it just kind of, like I said, it just kind of helps you reset. It's like pushing the button on the video game when you want to start over. That's how I think of it.
It truly does.
Oh, by the way, too, something else you mentioned that also really caught my attention. So you're a published author?
Yes, sir. Yep. I published my first book, well, my only book, in 2004. Is called Winds of Perception, Scratching the Surface. You can get it at Amazon.com, but I also have a Facebook page called Stirring to Wake. I'm always working with the EverFelt page, so I don't really post a lot of the writings, but yeah, a lot of the writing is on there. But yeah, I've been writing ever since I can remember.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, very cool. Do you have any plans to do another book?
I do. If I am not playing stadiums or arenas by the time I'm 55, I'm just going to write the novel. I started a novel too, but it's like this whole, it's this experimental fantasy, obviously. I've told, mine and Corey, my lead guitarist Corey Robinson. You hear how amazing he is.
Yeah.
And in person too, the most humble badass I know. I also have this awesome Japanese piece he just did, this tattoo work he just did on my arm. That's so sick, man.
Oh wow.
But yeah, he's super talented and a super cool dude. But I was minding his goal. He just turned 44. I'm 42 in October 2nd here in a couple of days. We're hoping to be playing arenas and stadiums by the time we're 50 with this music.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're not, we might just look at other answers. But but we'll see.
The universe will give you that schedule.
Most. I love that you spoke that into existence just now, my friends.
There you go. There you go. Well, Adam, I really appreciate talking with you this morning. I was thinking we might end the segment with "The Lie," which is another great track. Great track from the EP.
Man.
Anything we should know about this before we play it?
The Lie is, a song that is all about everything we're hearing about coming through our screens, our TVs, our phones, even the lies that we tell ourselves. But mostly it's about the global elite keeping the foot on the man, hiding under the lies they tell. The truth begins to fade. And I think we can all relate to that. Oh. And I'm sure we're all tired of the lies. So,
all right. So we're going to end with that track. But before we go, Adam, please let everyone know where's the best place to go online to keep up with everything that you're doing, everything that EverFelt is doing, anything you want our listeners to know about.
Yes, EverFelt.net. That's our website where you can access you can listen to our EP on our streaming music player at the bottom of the site. You can listen to it while you're scrolling through the pages. So you can contact us there. You can go to our social media platforms from that, everfelt.net. Come check us out.
All right. Very good. So we're going to hit this track, so we'll let you go. But Adam, again, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation, and we'll definitely do this again in the future.
Yes, sir, man. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man.
All right, Adam. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Adam Steglich from the band EverFelt. We're going to play this track, The Lie, and then when we come back, Jenny and I will talk a little bit about, she's got a big trip she's going on very shortly, and we'll also talk a little bit about Paper Jam Magazine, doing some more stuff with them. But check this out. This is called The Lie, and the band is EverFelt.